Hello, 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 I'm Rangru,
And I'm Troublemaker.
and we are here once again doing Clash of Clans 3 tournament, and today we are on 38th parallel. So, without further ado, on Team Run, we have Random, Griffor, and Hunter on the blue 4 side.
And on the red side, Team 2, we have new to the tournament, Lion de la Plaine.
I
La
think it's,
Plaine.
I think it's French.
Plain Lion. Mountain Lion, maybe? I don't
A
know.
flying plain lion.
A flying plain lion. Their members are Hicks, Sept 57, Sillage, and Elias.
I also just like to mention blue 4 are WTF, forgot to mention that.
And they have a lot of teams, but this is the flagship team. This is their #1 team.
And yeah, got a blue 4 on red 4 match, so no mirror matches today. So good old classic. And this map, it does really favour helicopter us early on just to get across the river. And there are a lot of town sectors to control, a lot of town sectors to take advantage of. So it's very beneficial to helicopter us in just one of these town sectors and hold it down.
There's going to be a weird, wonky balance. You want to have enough infantry to get the towns, but you want to have enough anti-air helicopters to wipe out his helicopters. Really weird.
I always find it when neither 2 helicopter russes, I think 2 to 3 anti-helicopter helicopters is the perfect amount. And maybe an interceptor.
And it looks like on the blue 4 side, we have some VLRA Mistrals coming out to provide the anti-air.
And I got a bunch of leading lynxes. They're definitely going to be doing some sort of helicopter play early on. Recon Cobra and all that good stuff.
This is going to be a very, very challenging map for these guys. It's got a ridiculous amount of flanks, and unfortunately, there isn't a real priority with a lot of these.
But also, it's sort of an easy map to defend as well, because to attack these flanks, you have to go across these bridges, and it's very easy to control a bridge down. So if either side can just control their bridge, or their bridge points, they should be able to easily defend.
Now, there are a few interesting points, though, on this map, particularly when you go into Kilo Juliet territory. There is a bridge that leads into this one itty-bitty island, which has no real roads and no fast routes. But there's a bridge on the other side as well, so there's a flanking opportunity here.
Yeah, pretty long, but it can be quite beneficial flanking opportunity. And also, because it's one giant bleeding river, it really does benefit amphibious craft, as they can just ignore the bridges and cross wherever they please.
I'll have to see how these guys go with this. I mean, everyone tries to get across the river.
You just want to get that foothold on the enemy side and hold it down. That is how you win this map. Very infantry, I think, biased map. Not biased, but a very infantry favoured map. Just bloody so many sector points all scattered around.
It is one map, though, where there can be a pretty good use of heavy tanks because of the long distances on this map. And if everyone's using infantry, they're not going to have a ton of anti-tank weaponry. So it all kind of works out. Not that we'll see heavy tanks. I doubt anyone will ever get a heavy tank for this entire tournament.
Yeah, the meta currently for heavy tanks isn't entirely favourable, because there's a lot of open ground in these new maps, meaning ATGMs can keep a lock onto enemy heavy tanks and easily pop them open.
So, I mean, the other thing with this map is that we'll probably not see a ton of planes because they're, like, we'll see, like, napalm planes, but we won't see a lot of heavy bombers, just because the distances are so short that things like MiG-31 and Tomcat will just demolish your plane as it enters airspace.
Those high-end interceptors don't have a long call time, so easily get in and shoot down your SG-24 as it just exits its bombing run. So to start any minute now, teams always like taking their time in tournament matches, getting their prep talk and getting all that stuff. And yeah, it does seem like WTF, they all got helicopters mainly. It's just a bunch of helicopters. And I know they're very good at micro and helicopters, especially Griffor has all his Pumas in just one squad section, so keep them all nice and spread out and get into the town ASAP.
And it's weird to even talk about this. It's amazing that's back, the idea of helicopter micro. And like one of the things that people need to understand is that there's a lot of anti-air units that have area of effects attacks. And there's also kind of a chain reaction. Helicopters can take down helicopters. So they have to be spread enough that they're not going to hit each other, but not so spread that they're alienated and easy to kill.
It's just like that perfect, like the perfect distance between helicopters, where they're nice and close up. But if a Book, because I've seen Books shoot like 2 Cobras down with 1 missile because they're so close up. So area of effect damage is like a small area of effect with all anti-helicopter and anti-plane missiles.
Interestingly enough, neither team really investing heavily into the anti-helicopter helicopters, so it's going to be all ground-based anti-air here, actually.
Yeah, some Boots and Pong guys, and yeah, and some man pads for Redfor or Bluefor, getting those Mistral trucks. And yeah, just really those Mistral trucks, to be honest. And a tracked rapier. And away we go.
Yeah, no real surprise here. We have a MiG-31M
right.
popping out. That's just, it's either have to get a Tomcat or a MiG-31. They just control the airspace so darn well.
Yeah, and you don't see them too much anymore, the MiGs, because people just prefer getting those longer range those heavy interceptors like the Eurofighter and Su-27 PU, because they can get in nice and close, while a MiG has to be at long range to be effective. But
another interesting unit choice here is the AVI S-105. They're anti-helicopter planes.
They have those anti-air rockets. That's a rare choice. That's a bloody Czech interceptor.
They're
points.
Really, really, really rare. And the reason why they're so rare is because they just barely ever work.
I always liked using them in airland battle quite a lot. Just get 3 of them off the start, and they sort of hold off the MiG-23 rush. But it's just a nice cheap interceptor group. But it does seem like WTF, they are going to get Juliet with a good old helicopter rush, and sort of stopping in Bravo, not really going too aggressive in the top flanks.
Yeah, it's a really, really hard map to play on a 3v3. I mean, if you have one flank that's a little bit too weak, you're in trouble. And, they grab Juliet, and it's absolutely possible that they might also grab Alpha.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as far as a 3v3 tournament map goes, this is probably going to be the one that people will want to play the least.
Yeah. Honestly, I think this is just a very badly designed map from a personal standpoint, just because it really promotes camping with the bridges, because that's the only way you can really get across a big giant armoured force. And there's a lot of open ground for ATGM planes. It's not probably the best map. Not too many options. And it's bloody like flatter in Denmark.
Yeah, I have a feeling that even if they try to remove this, people will complain like when they tried to remove Highway to Hell. Iconic map, you can't remove iconic map.
Yeah, high rate how higher to Oslo. It's like the bloody DE dust too of the Wargame Airland battle and European escalation.
But interesting enough, with the success of their air rush, they actually are following up with heavy tanks and medium tanks here. So, WTF, they know their stuff. They know the metagame. They know how the game works, and they're just going with it.
Yeah, I also find it interesting using the Jeep with the cordless rifles on the back, very cheap 10-point unit, but they're using them to suppress the commandosies in the town and just bombard the absolute crap out of them as Jaegers move in.
Yeah.
Factories picking them up at long range. Good old-fashioned infantry, ATGM infantry in the open. really absolute killer tactic in these open maps, as enemy ATGMs can't hit you, and the only way to really destroy them is with artillery. And if you can just micro them to move them around constantly, they're almost impossible to hit with a good old arty strike. Oh, I like what he did with the SU-24. Oh, I think I was next, and he only dropped 4 of his dozen bombs. I don't know.
That's weird.
I think he dropped it, but when it in the middle of dropping, he gave it a move order, so it cancelled halfway through. That is weird. I never actually seen that before. He only drops a couple bombs. Huh.
Unfortunately, he's paying too much attention to the split micro, and he's lost one of his SE-24s.
But we do have Lion. They are moving into Echo. Going across the river. Got some BTRs forwarding, and most directly just literally running across the bridge.
And there's really no such thing on this particular map as a major and a minor flank. They're all major flanks. You lose one of these, and you have to set up a brand new flank behind it. It's just very, very linear.
Because now, just on Hotel, the Hotel side where WTF just captured Juliet, they have all this open land in between, like, river to river, that they have to keep eyes on, because anything could happen between there. Absolutely anything. Well, if they could have just hold down Juliet and kept it under control, it's just like 2-3 bridges that they just have to keep some recon.
Yeah, this is honestly not a very good map to be a Pact player either. A lot of the strengths with Pact are with heavy-handed early aggression, and this map is no good. Well, we see a Prowler coming out here from random. That's your seed fighter, and this will be used for picking off any kind of radar-based anti-air weapons, which are the long-range ones.
Oh, it's just dodging missiles left and right.
Yeah, that always bothers me about these planes, because they do a lot of damage, and they also seem to soak a lot of damage.
Yeah, they can be pretty pesky to shoot down, because they're intended for shooting down AA-based systems. I think just a really good way to deal with seed aircraft and man patch. A lot of man patch. Because if you just shoot so many, they can't shoot enemy man. Seed aircraft can't lock onto man patch. So if you get a few of them just scattered around in between forests, you can easily shoot one down.
And on any other map, that'd be great, but on this map...
Not so much.
There's nowhere to go.
And there's so much ground to cover. Like all this open space. I do see what you mean. Yeah, these books are very lucrative item, very lucrative vehicle to have, because it has that insane range on enemy planes. Just see how Prowler is going to be coming in once again. See if he can get a good old lock on.
Now the goal here for out-microing this Prowler is you turn off your radar-based weapons, and then when he spins over or around, as in he can't fire, you turn it back on. Yeah. And you can destroy a plane pretty easily that way.
And you usually tell teams that are like really good at micro if they can just constantly shut down their radar-based systems in like 2 seconds and then turn them back on instantly. So those more high-level micros, yeah, a lot of these good teams really practice.
There's a lot of things that people got, like, just habit-based stuff. Like, if you know your enemy's using seed planes and you rally out a radar fighter, like, the first thing that should go in your head is, like, I gotta turn off that radar system. He's gonna walk all over me.
And it's just, I think, and another thing I really like about seed planes is that even if they don't really shoot anything, you're going to keep the enemy on their toes, because they have to keep microing their radar-based AA on and off as they see your seed fighter, keeping them a bit more distracted to more important things like the giant push that you're moving through.
Yeah, and that's a big part of the game, man. It's just keeping their mind busy so that they can't pay attention to things that will matter.
Yeah, that's a big thing for a lot of RTSs, to be honest. It's all about keeping your enemy distracted enough where you can just move up somewhere else. It's just a basic strategy thing in general, like in chess. So keeping your enemy distracted in certain things so you can checkmate king with your knight.
Yep, I play against the computer. He doesn't get distracted by anything. He's also very good.
Mhm. But yeah, just slow match. WTF holding down on Juliet. Got all their infantry, a lot of infantry, and they just have to keep control of Juliet, gain this very nice +3 advantage.
Yeah, and that'll be probably game deciding for them.
All
You know,
those courses.
now that I'm looking at this match, I think this match was disqualified.
You think?
I don't know if they rematched or they took this match. The reason why is because the tournament rules is 750.
Yeah,
It's
I
five-
did notice that.
Yeah, but I don't think another match was played. I guess they took this as the official.
Yeah, because just looking on the Clash of the Clans tournament page, this is the one that was like on the replay thing, so I think this is official.
And will this?
Yeah, I'd probably
This
just
Prowler is just really hard to kill. He just took 3 radar shots and 2 infrared shots from the SE-27 PU.
before finally getting shot down.
Yeah.
Do you have this WTF push moving up onto Hotel? Got Caillou, Bisons, and the good old Centaurian Mark V strategy.
Yeah, and a lot of infantry. TPZ, Fuchs, and Bison leading the charge. They're using the napalm as smoke to get in. This is also very clever.
Yep. And there goes Griffor. I think he had to leave, maybe. That's most likely it.
Probably has to organize a flash tournament or something. By the way, Griffor has these tournaments. You should check them out when they're on. They take like 4 hours total, and they're all very fun.
It's a quick weekend tournament. Yeah, anyone can really sign in and just get a few good matches in. I did them a few times. They're all very fun, and I would suggest them.
I did one, and I got completely reamed by Sikisaki from PLF.
Same, I did it as well. I went up against random, just dead. Just dead in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, it was a fun reaming.
Ooh, lucky kill here by Leon. They got a command kill on Kilo with BTR 60 PBs. Those things never kill anything.
Damn.
It took 90 rounds, almost 25% of his ammo to kill a command.
And now he's just like booking it right behind the enemy front line. This is the wrong thing about this map. It's so big, it's hard to cover everything, especially in a 3v3 situation. So his BTR's gonna have nice coverage on the back lines, maybe get a few more command kills.
I see some Kiyomaru Shikis here. Try and move in to pick this off. You know, I like doing that myself. I like using my vehicles, just running them in a random direction. If they die, it's like, whatever, it's only 10, 15 points. They kill something, oh my god, they were useful. And even in this situation right now, I would split them up. Send one forward, leave one behind.
Yeah, I think that's also, like, that strategy is a pretty popular thing in the meta. Yeah, think about it, you see just the amount of T-34s that everyone's using compared to airland battle. People just buy them because it's a 10-point tank that you can throw away. If it gets a kill, awesome. If it doesn't get a kill, whatever, it's 10 points. And also Centaurians can also really fall under that category. If they die, whatever, if they get a kill, good job.
I think those Centurions a little very armored and useful in big pushes.
Good for soaking up damage. They're probably, I think, like 8 armor for 15 points. It's pretty cheap. A good bang.
Yeah, and the T-34s are just, you know, they're walking cardboard boxes.
All 3 frontal armor. But yeah, we do have a person moving onto Bravo. Got T-64 BM, ZTS 63s. Bit of an armored push here.
And a Yak 38, not able to get its load up. Wasn't on the attack position command of the war.
Yeah. Oh, and then of course here's coming the F1 2 F1 now because Griffor left. And that nuke bug. Oh, that is 16,000 kilograms of ordnance. Plus a napalm. There's a bloody run 2 knockout punch on that push. But you have the CTs over there just booking it right into Delta going across the road.
A deadly cocktail of madness. They might be able to get some kills on some of these anti-air vehicles, and not too much more though, because the actual flank that they seem to be going for is very, very heavily invested in infantry.
They're doing a pretty good job on the whole town. They got most of their infantry in the town. Only like one commando squad left. If they just move up those airborne, they can easily take the whole sector.
Oh, I thought you were gonna vomit. You know, because it's a party in time. But big thing they're really lacking right now is supplies. All their SAS are completely out of the Stingers. Their tanks are low on ordnance all around. They've been using a lot of supplies.
Especially those Centurions, they don't have a great fuel economy, so you need to keep him refueled if you manage to keep him alive that long, which usually doesn't happen. There are 4 BTR-70 Zalos coming down. An only improved vehicle from Redfor having 20 rounds a minute fire rate, which is really bleeding.
Yeah, trying to get that tank destroyer back to being a real thing. In European escalation, it was all about tank destroyers. Everyone used tank destroyers, nobody used tanks. And then airland battle came, and the tank destroyer kind of went the way of the Ditto. What's that bird?
The
Dodo, yes, the way of the Dodo.
The Dodo.
They spilt TNT on them, and they all died off.
Yeah. Yeah, Zalo, it's an interesting unit because it doesn't have much AP. It's like a Redfor version of the AMX 1390. So I think it'd be a pretty good, like, if you use it like an autocannon unit that has a bit more extra punch. Use it like it could be quite an effective killer.
Yep, or on the flanks. Like that's the thing about a lot of these tank destroyers is that they're really good if they can get flanking shots. Just because that high rate of fire, just minimum 1 damage per shot.
Yeah, at close range, it's not like frontally. It can't really go up against those like T-64s and all that rubbish. I also think they're pretty good for like just covering your flanks when you want to cover like an area the enemy won't really attack, but you just want something there just in case. Those like 10 and 20 point tank destroyers like the SU-122, the Zalo, the ASU-85 are great units to get because they're nice and cheap and they will sort of hold off any pushes if any APCs do.
And unlike a lot of vehicles and tanks, they have medium optics, so they're not low.
Not completely
most
blind.
Of the are poor. Like the Centurions are just very, very poor. Most tanks are.
Yeah, very bad line of sight tank. Very old-fashioned tank, actually.
Yeah, and this game's been very, very dominated by WTF. They're one team that has been playing this game hardcore since it launched. Well, actually, even before it launched, like they were just religious. Finding every nook, every cranny.
Yeah, very, very good team. Random, Griffor, Hunter, an absolutely phenomenal combo. Especially like, every time I play against like Random and his crew, it's just a bloody ream, and I have to get the burn cream out.
Preparation H, is it?
Bloody horrible.
Anusol, actual product. I recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's phenomenal players. Line did a pretty good job here trying to hold out, but this is WTF.
It's a really hard team to play. I'm interested to see how far they go before they get competition because, BPT, very, very good team. They could potentially be facing BPT coming up. They won't see no unit until potentially the finals. And there's also the other WTF team and Yoba, which are not bad.
Yeah.
They could potentially see them pretty soon, but their historical enemies are no unit. That's at the other end of the bracket.
So I have to read and see. Also, those smoke plays from WTF. They used to be very popular of using their smoke a lot. Like smoke artillery.
Yeah, and it made sense in airline battle because artillery was so crappy. But now, like, if you put smoke and put a command there, they're just gonna like artillery that location and kill your command.
And for those who don't know what we're talking about, WTF strategy was like, let's say in hotel, they'd plop a CV right in the corner of hotel, and then they'd smoke right on top of the CV that's neutralizing the point. So it's a double-edged sword because ATGMs and tanks can't shoot it, but you kind of just broadcasted your position where your CV is, so it usually gets bombed or artilleried. But yeah, good match, yeah. WTF gaining like a 2 KD.
Yeah,
roughly.
you know, this is there's always got to be one of these in the tournament, and this is it. It was a complete mismatch. You know, best of luck to Leon, the plane. They will move on to the losers bracket. They will be facing either BPT or KOD Crazy Men. That can be very easy or very hard depending on how things go.
But yeah, another match, yeah, from Clash of Clans, and yeah, is all we have time for.
And I'm Troublemaker.